Detroit is a complex mashup of wealth, poverty and production. Production of cars and of music, principally Motown, not least Martha Reeves, a queen of Motown, singing in the Ford Mustang plant in the 1960s. Detroit is indeed the industrial weather vane of America. When times are booming, this city is part of it. But when recession bites, Detroit was, and still is, shattered. Here, lingering evidence of economic devastation in the 1950s. An oil shock or a market slump, and Detroit's cars just don't sell. If Motown depicted Detroit on the up, techno was born when it was down. These are the studios of underground resistance, who ship techno music with its mechanical sounds on vinyl all over the world.
Detroit techno reflected then, still does, what was going on.
Yeah.
It was futuristic, it was music that reflected discrimination,
economic decay,
all that kind of stuff, all rolled up in one. Even through the bad times, there was always hope that things would get better, and they are. So companies are moving in, people are moving in from everywhere.
So the signs for now are of better times. But despite continued major car production boosted by President Obama's bailout of the industry 6 years ago, small car production has gone south to Mexico. That's why Detroit is in the eye of this year's campaign storm. Trump wants those jobs back. He wants import tariffs to keep manufacturing jobs in America and a wall to keep Mexicans out.
When we abandoned the policy of America first, we started rebuilding other countries instead of our own. The skyscrapers went up in Beijing and many other cities around the world, while the factories and neighborhoods crumbled right here in Detroit.
A new reality is to be found in a rehabilitated downtown building.
And they go on to, we call this cell marriage, where the front panel and the back panel are put together.
Welcome to Detroit Denim, one of a myriad small-scale, highly skilled startups in this city that seek to beat out imports and provide for the high-end clothing market. Are you a symbol of Detroit's recovery?
I think we're perhaps one facet in a very multifaceted gem of Detroit's recovery. There are so many things that are going on in Detroit. Everyone feels a sense of responsibility. We're definitely a part of it, but I wouldn't say we're the one symbol. We're a part of it.
Obama got the U.S. economy moving. Detroit is not going to desert the Democrats. But this state of Michigan, in which the city sits, is one Trump thinks he can win. Mrs. Clinton is still just in the lead here, but is so far not winning all the votes she could. How does that leave you now then? Do you vote or not?
Of course I vote. I'm voting. I mean, I think that if you don't vote, it's a vote for Donald Trump. You can vote for anybody you want, but I'm supporting Hillary Clinton.
I hate career politicians for one. Two, I hate, and hate is a strong word, I despise Donald Trump. I mean, I totally despise him. But I know it has nothing to do with my music because it's, once if Hillary come in office and then she fucks up with the trade and I can't ship my records to distributors in Europe, yeah, I have issues.
Yeah. Well, we're joined now by Martha Reeves, who has lived in Detroit since she was a baby. She came to fame, of course, with her backing group, the Vandellas, recording such Motown hits as Jimmy Mac and Dancing in the Street. But she's also dabbled in politics for several years, serving as a councilwoman here in the city. So that little whiff of politics, what did it tell you about what you're feeling now? I mean, what about this contest that's going on? It's a bit grubby, isn't it?
Well, it's a new thing to have a woman actually be the first to be in politics and get to the point where she has. And I just love America, and I think that it needs a grandmother to heal it. I think this election has been the most hilarious thing that's ever been presented to the public by the press, and I'm looking to see that it happens all at the steps of the White House. I'll be there with the circle of singers singing on election night to see how the outcome is.
The very fact that a woman is within a heartbeat of the White House, that's really been obliterated by this awful sort of name-calling and the rest of it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's more playing the dozens as we used to as children talking about each other's mother, and we called it scoring. They've been doing some talking about each other more than the politics or more than the issues of the world, and I'd like to see it come down to the issues of the world.
Now, if you were going to tell anybody what city in Britain Detroit might be compared with, what would you say?
Well, Dave Godin came over to America from the Tamla Motown Appreciation Society and told us to come to England. One of our first stops was Liverpool, and it looked very much like Detroit to me. I felt very much at home.
Well, that's fantastic. And of course, both cities have finally come up.
Flourish, yes.
And Detroit is coming up, would you agree?
It's already up.
It's
just
up.
a few places like where we're standing that we'll have renovated and cleared up in a matter of years. And it's a wonderful city. We've got 3 major casinos here with 4 5-star hotels. We've got a compute center downtown. Dan Gilbert is here. We've got a wonderful, wonderful lot of development being done in the city.
And you've got music. Why does such an industrial clank, clank, clank town produce Motown?
Well, Berry Gordy worked at the Ford Motor Company as part of his career finding. As an entrepreneur, he decided he'd rather be a producer of music because music soothes the world. But Detroit is known for its motor city, its motor cars, and its music, the Motown music.
Now, if Mrs. Clinton becomes president, will you be really proud of her, or will you have misgivings about emails and heaven knows what else may have been said about her?
When Madam Clinton becomes our president, I'll be especially proud because she has what it takes.
What is it that it takes?
The experience. She's been a first lady. She'll be the first lady.